My name is Kingsley Bosa Chiedu Ayodele Moghalu, and by the grace of God, I will be the next president of Nigeria. On the platform of the African Democratic Congress, the ADC. I joined the ADC in October 2021. And I aspire to be its flag bearer in the 2023 elections. I aspire to be its presidential candidate in 2023. Many of you will know that I have run for president before. In 2019, I was a presidential candidate. Now I am a presidential aspirant until the primaries are over. And I'm here this afternoon to formally accept the expression of interest form, the nomination form. I have paid for both of them. Where's Chair Marion? Thank you. I have paid 25 million naira being the expression of interest form and the nomination form. And this is proof of that payment at the bank. And I hereby present it to the party. I don't know whether there's anybody I should legitimately give it to. Yes. I think also that I want to say very clearly that in addition to the expression of interest form, I am making a humble donation to the general party management for the party of 10 million naira. So our party, the ADC, is the credible alternative to the madness that is going on in Nigeria today. And by the grace of God, after the primaries, we will unroll our strategy to take the presidency, a number of governorships, and several legislative seats that our members are also aspiring to. It's not just about the presidency, but it's about the down ballot as well. So we're very conscious of that. So I'd just like to thank you for being present. I will take questions from the press at the appropriate time. And I will now leave room for the actual ceremony itself, which will be led by the national chairman, Chief Ralph Okemosu. Mr. Chairman.
Our party, and since after the declaration, we've gone astronomical. We have about, at the moment, 10 persons, 10 aspirants for the position of the presidential candidacy of our party. And I guess you're all aware, I think some other parties have 20 something, but then ADC, our crop of aspirants, a lot about our party. The best minds, the best technocrats, experts in their field, and also people you can consider authentic in their leadership. So, will our vision be actualized by persons who have come out in our party to fly our flag? Definitely. We said in 20 years, after ADC has taken over power, we are going to have a superpower Nigeria. And that superpower Nigeria must start in 2023. And that's why ADC must take over power for the sake of Nigerians. Nigerians want to see superpower Nigeria economy in their own lifetime. I'm going to, our Deputy National Chairman in charge of ethics and value, ethics and standard, Barrister Mrs. Justina Avenida, will take the expression form, present to our BOT chairman, and they will present it to the aspirant.
Let's see the front of the
Prof and Mrs. Moghalu, I present the expression of interest form to you. May it be a blessing to you today.
More for Nigeria. Yes. More for Nigeria.
Liberation of Nigeria. Liberation of Nigeria.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Poverty is gone. Yes. Bye bye to poverty.
Yes.
Yes.
Corruption is
gone.
Nepotism is
gone.
Tribalism is
gone.
Can we have one house, please?
One house, please.
On inflation, inflation is the most pernicious tax on the poor. Why inflation is so terrible is that it devalues the ability of households to save. It devalues their purchasing power. And what we have in Nigeria today is that many families cannot afford proteins in their food because of the high cost of food items. Over the past 1 year, many food items have doubled, some have tripled in prices. So it's a very, very serious issue. But I want to be very clear that if there is high inflation in a sustained manner and it is not going down, it is a performance failure of the central bank, because the president does not manage inflation. Statutorily, the management of inflation is the function of the Central Bank of Nigeria. And under the CBN Act, the bank is supposed to be independent in the performance of its functions. It is not supposed to take instructions from anywhere or from anybody. So, there is a monetary policy committee whose function is to ensure price stability. When I was a deputy governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria from 2009 to 2014, I was also a member of the Monetary Policy Committee. And we were able successfully to bring inflation down from double digits, around 14%, down to 8% before we left office in 2014. Today, inflation is around 16%. So, what I would say is that when I become the president, one of my first duties is to ensure that we have a central bank that is independent and is led by competent leadership that will be able to perform its functions under the CBN Act. So that's my answer to the matter of inflation. On the question of insecurity, my position is that if Nigerians were to if I were to get the ticket of my party, go into the general election, and Nigerians were to vote for me to become the next president, insecurity in this country will come to an end.
Amen.
Why? Because the first thing you need to secure Nigeria is political will. For me, as a president of Nigeria, one life of a Nigerian would be too precious to lose to bandits or kidnappers or terrorists. Not to speak of hundreds of lives, not to speak of thousands of lives. So, the political will is the first requirement. And that means that if the lives of Nigerians and the security of Nigeria's territory and the lives of Nigerians is my priority, as it is under the Constitution, then it means that nothing, and when I say nothing in capital letters, can stand in between that responsibility. We will take out whatever threatens the security of this country and the security of the lives of Nigerians. Beyond the matter of political will, there are a number of other measures that I will take when I come into Aso Rock as president of Nigeria. One of them is the matter of intelligence. Intelligence is how you fight terrorism. If you notice that after the 9/11 terrorist attacks, there has been no other significant attack in the United States. Do you think it is because the terrorists have not been trying? No. It is because the intelligence agencies are alive. They are on top of the situation. They are watching everybody and anything that moves. And once there's a threat, they destroy the threat. In fact, the media, these things are not even public knowledge. I was listening to a briefing one day in the US and I was shocked as to how many attacks. At that time, they said there were at least 42 major terrorist attacks that had been prevented by the US security agencies. So intelligence is very important. The coordination of Nigeria's intelligence and the coordinated functioning of its intelligence agencies, very important. Also, the matter of political will, like I said. You may have intelligence, but if you don't have political will, you will not act on your intelligence. So we've had statements in this country by highly placed political leaders, oh, we know where they are, oh, some people know where they are, what is going on. It's an indication of, something that is not totally correct. So, and we will, of course, reform the Nigerian police. The breakdown in security in this country begins with the breakdown of the Nigerian police function. It is the police force that primarily secures a community. And if the police force is not functioning well, then other problems begin. Reforming the police is a huge topic. I won't go deeply into it now, but let me remind you that one of the reasons why Boko Haram blew out of proportion was the extrajudicial killing of their leader, Muhammad Yusuf, by the Nigerian police. This is one of the things that blew up the Boko Haram. So, the use of extrajudicial force, we have to stop it and make police people accountable. We have to make police people efficient. We have to man the police force far more effectively. 250,000 police people, too few. As president, I'll move the police force to not less than 1 million. And they will be well trained. So and of course, border security. We have to police our borders far more effectively than has been the case in the last several years. So that's my response to the matter of security. ASU strike. The crisis of education in Nigeria is an emergency. And it is a horrendous emergency because without education, no society can make progress. What builds a strong nation that is prosperous, efficient, strong, is a strong educational system. Therefore, I will invest heavily in education. When I become president, the ASU strikes will never happen again.
Amen.
The reason is because education will be my #1 priority as president of Nigeria. And you can understand that because I'm a university professor, among other things I have done in my life. So I understand the importance of education, and I will invest in it. 20% of the federal budget will go to education, not less than 20%. So, and we are going to reform the teacher training. We're going to retrain Nigeria's teachers. We will reform the curriculum. We will reform how Nigerian children learn, which is called pedagogy. We will take care of the educational infrastructure of this country so that the learning environment is conducive. If you go to many of our universities today, they look like poultries. If you go into the dorms, that's not good. It's because serious investments are not going into the quality of the learning environment or the quality of the classrooms. As a citizen, I have been passionate about education. And we have a family foundation called the Isaac Moghalu Foundation, which has been investing in education in rural communities around this country. One of our interventions is in Gishiri, one of the slum areas of the Federal Capital Territory. My wife here, Mrs. Mary Ann Moghalu, is the chief executive of the Isaac Moghalu Foundation. So this is my approach to education, and we will look at the issues that are creating crisis between us and the government. We will sit at a table, we will negotiate, we will come to an agreement, and we will do as a government what we owe us over so many years. Every government that comes in inherits the obligations entered into by previous governments. So we will sort out the ASU problem and invest. If we can spend 4 trillion naira on fuel subsidy, why can't we spend 1 trillion and sort out our education system in this country for good? So that's my response to education. Somebody asked me, I'll finish with Vanguard. This day, 2023, what is new? So many things are new. Ghana Mayor would say, let's see how the thing goes. We'll see how the thing goes. I cannot reveal too much, but I can say that #1, the platform on which I am contesting, the ADC, is a platform that appeals to the young people of this country. And it's a platform that has been a serious party and focused on the grassroots. So, first of all, I'm happy and comfortable with the platform. That's important. The other thing I want to tell you is that we are working on ground structures across the country. We are going to have a very strong ground game, far stronger than we had when I contested in 2019. We will also build alliances. As you can see, many alliances are drifting towards me already. You saw the decampment of the Atiku state of mind to become the Moghalu state of mind. And I'm sure some members of the Atiku state of mind are here. So, the Moghalu state of mind are here already. We have seen the declaration by 60 youth groups in the core north under the leadership of the Arewa Youth Assembly endorsing me to become the next president of Nigeria in 2023. We have seen the engagement with the youth wing of CAN, the Christian Association of Nigeria, with whom I had a consultative meeting a few days ago. And so many others. You know, there's the Gender Democratic Alliance, which was an all-women political party. It was not registered, but they have indicated an intention to back me, and so many other alliances. So a lot more alliances this time around. Ground game, and of course, we are also making moves to have decent resources to organize ourselves as well. So that's on the matter of what's new. And of course, this time is very different from 2019. In 2019, there was a general belief that the presidency was still the turn of the North. That was a very fundamental psychological stimulus in voting behavior in 2019. It is not the situation now. Nigerians have a different perspective as of 2023 as to what part of the country the presidency should go to. But also, a lot of Nigerians, a lot more, are becoming increasingly tired about the weak, failed performance of Nigeria's traditional politicians between 1999 and now. And I think they are now ready for an alternative, far more than was the case. We still have a lot of work to do, because I want to tell you that the reason Nigeria is where it is because of the voting behavior of Nigeria's citizens. It is the citizens who decide who will be in power. So if you think you're tired, if you think, say, you don't do, then you have to show body. You have to act in a different way. And that's what we hope will happen in 2023. I'm trying to be very brief with these questions. News Agency of Nigeria asked about zoning. I want to be very clear. I have always said it, and I have no apologies. I am not running for president of Nigeria because of where I come from. I am running for president of Nigeria because I have a vision for Nigeria, a plan to execute the vision, and a plan to execute the plan. So it's a combination. I'm running for president based on a combination of vision and capacity. But to address the question of zoning, zoning is happening in this country because of the unique nature of our country. It's a country that has many, many ethnic groups, many different religions, and there's a need to ensure inclusion. There's a need to ensure balance, that no group dominates others. Democracy is a game of numbers, but it is not only a game of numbers, it's a game of numbers plus other things. And let me give you an example. In 2016, in the American elections, Hillary Clinton had 3 million votes more than Donald Trump. Who became the president? Donald Trump. Why? Because American democracy, the presidency is not a direct election. It's an indirect election using what they call electoral votes. So that's America. In Switzerland, they rotate the presidency every 2 years to make sure, because it's a multi-ethnic nation based off the French, the Germans, and the Italians, and the Romans. There are 4 groups in Switzerland. So to ensure a certain balance, and it's a confederation, they rotate the presidency. So nothing stops Nigeria from taking into consideration its own unique situation to ensure that nobody feels left out or left behind. You can combine that rotation with merit, because there is merit in every part of Nigeria. There is competence in every part of Nigeria, and there is incompetence in every part of Nigeria. So the issue with Nigeria has not been zoning. It is about to whom the posts have been zoned. That's what the issue is. So if we find people who have leadership capacity in the places that have not had the opportunity yet, I think it's a good thing. And I think it will create more of national unity and stability. So that's my answer on zoning. So therefore, to wrap up on zoning, the question is that there are certain zones that have never had the opportunity to be president. And I think it's right that they should have that opportunity. But it should be the best from that zone that should get it. And I believe that I represent the first 11 of Nigeria, not to talk about the first 11 of the zone I come from. I think that can be taken for granted. So that is very important. So it's either if there's an issue with zoning, it's either you complete the circle, bearing in mind the mistakes of the past. Let's look for competence, but those who haven't had it should have the opportunity. And then when everybody has had the opportunity, we agree that, okay, no more zoning. It is now based on direct whatever. Or you put rotation in the Constitution. So these are ways to address, these are just options. that we can use to address the problem of zoning. The only thing I would also say is that if you have a requirement for federal character in every political appointment in the Constitution, you have quota system in the, all being practiced. So you cannot blame those who argue for zoning. So that is what I have to say. Finally, I want to discuss the matter of the central bank. And somebody said, can I win with the ADC? I've already explained that. We will win. Will elections be free and fair? I think that depends a lot on the pressure that we as citizens put on the security and INEC and other relevant agencies of this country to ensure that we have free and fair elections. The amended Electoral Act is a big step forward. Let us test it. Let's test it and let us protect our votes as we test it. Let's not abandon our civic responsibility and think that things can get better in Nigeria. If you don't vote, you give room for those who will rig. The more people come out to vote, the less difficult it becomes to rig, especially if the people come out and are voting in a very clear direction. Now, on the matter of the Central Bank of Nigeria, I want to be very, very clear. I was a deputy governor of the Central Bank, a member of the Committee of Governors. I want to say that I really weep for Nigeria with what is going on. I can no longer recognize the Central Bank, an institution where I was one of the leaders, and I served with heart, all my heart. I cannot recognize that institution today. It is deeply wrong for the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria to be playing politics while in office. It is a violation of law, it is a violation of ethics, and it is a violation of morality. What we are seeing is the privatization of public office for personal gain. And I think it is deeply regrettable. Like I said, I weep for this country. But when I become the president, we will move in a new direction. And there will be hope. Because the Central Bank Act is clear. One, it says the bank shall be independent in the exercise of its functions. That's one. Two, Section 9, I believe, makes it clear that the governor and the deputy governors of the Central Bank, all of whom, 5 of whom make up the Committee of Governance, the COG, none of them is allowed to engage in any other employment or any other vocation while in office. A vocation is something that may be taking up your time. It may not be a full-time job. It may not be even something you can put your hand on, but it is something you're spending, your heart and mind are there. And if the heart and mind of the Central Bank government is in politics, as we see with his attempt to get a law court to support his ambition, first of all, I want to say that Nigerians have no business rewarding this massive breach of the rule of law, because the actions of the CBN governor show an utter contempt for the rule of law, not just in what he's doing currently, but also in the fact that he has given the federal government ways and means lending of not less than 18 trillion naira over the last 7 years. This is one of the reasons that inflation is high in this country, because the law says that the central bank cannot give the government ways and means lending that is more than 5% of the revenues of the previous financial year. So you're not talking about hundreds of percentages, thousands, more than 5%. So the laws in this country increasingly don't mean anything. And I think that is wrong. So we have no business. I personally believe that the individual in question has been monumentally incompetent And Nigerians have no business. We can see the state of our economy today, and we have no business promoting incompetence into the presidency. That's my answer on that question. Thank you.